Welcome back to From the Shed End. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you like the video. Leave some thoughts in the comments. We should hopefully have Theo join us very soon, so we can try and get his thoughts on the Liverpool game. And yeah, he's just messaged me now, so let's see what he's saying. These are the things you have to do while you're doing live streams. And yeah, this is what we have to do when you're live. Let's wait for Theo before we get into the podcast episode. As I said, he will be here very soon. But leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. As I said, make sure you leave your thoughts about the Liverpool game. Was I too harsh on Robert Sanchez? Was I too harsh on Malo Gusto? Should Enzo Fernandez have started that game? Should Nkunku have started that game? There's a lot we need to try and dissect over the next couple of weeks. We've got some really tough fixtures coming up as well. Let's just look at our fixtures that we got coming up, because they are going to be coming thick and fast now. Let's have a look at the fixtures that we got coming up. Some brutal fixtures coming up very soon. And these are the things we have to be winning. We have to be winning these games. We really do. Yeah, Panathiokios, Newcastle in the league, Newcastle in the cup, United in the league, Noah in the Champions League 7th of November, Arsenal 10th of November, Leicester, albeit Leicester King Power, we should beat them, but you never know. And then we got Heidenheim in the Europa Conference League again. Then we play Villa, then we play Southampton, then we play Tottenham, Astana the 12th. Here we go. Here's Theo. Let's get him in. Here we go. Here he is, the main man himself.
The second main man of the show.
I thought you were stuck in Liverpool still. I was a bit worried about him.
No, I'm here. I just had a Danish customer who was asking a lot of questions on a work
Okay.
call, so yeah.
Okay. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Well, we're live anyway. But yeah, I was just going through the fixtures. So I was just literally going through the fixtures that we've got coming up over the next couple of weeks. Now, obviously we're going to talk about Liverpool and our game coming up on Thursday in Greece. But after that, we play Newcastle next Sunday. We then play Newcastle again, EFL Cup. A couple of days later, we have Manchester United at Old Trafford coming up, which should be a winnable game. We've got Noah Conference League, Arsenal at Stamford Bridge 10th of November, Leicester the 23rd of November. I'm assuming that's when the international break is in between those games. Just looking at the dates here. Heidenheim Conference League again. Then into that December busy period as well, we play Aston Villa, Southampton, Tottenham, Astana, and then we have Brentford, Shamrock Rovers, Everton away, Boxing Day at home to Fulham, 30th of December, Portman Road, Ipswich. Now, we don't have much time today, as we know that already, but let's talk about the game, Liverpool game. Obviously, you was there, Anfield. Long journey for you. I did mention that on the video that I did yesterday. Long journey for you. I think you got back home probably just around midnight. Early hours Monday morning. But just sum up, if you can, your assessment of the game against Liverpool at Anfield.
I think when you lose to Liverpool and you're out of the game, obviously it's always going to be disappointing and frustrating. But I think there's so many positives to take from the game, particularly with how we played, particularly with how we dominated long passages of that game. And I felt like for large moments we were in control of that match. And we're talking about the new era of Chelsea compared to a very kind of stable Liverpool side that have a lot of players that have been there for a good 5, 6, 7 seasons, in the likes of Salah, Trent, Van Dijk, to name a few. So I think it's really promising to see that we are able to compete with a title challenging team over 90 minutes. It's disappointing from the 2 goals we conceded. I think penalty was obviously quite sloppy to give away. And then the second goal, we just seemed to switch off straight after the Nicholas Jackson goal. I think it's Reece James on the right-hand side that just allows Salah to put in a ball to Curtis Jones. And maybe the keeper, question mark, he could have maybe done better to close him down. I keep saying and we could do a whole episode on goalkeepers.
We are going to do a whole episode on goalkeepers. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. But no, I'm pleased with how we played. I'm disappointed maybe as well with the lack of chances we had for ourselves. I think bar the goal, I don't think we really tested Kelleher at all. I felt like Gusto had a big chance at the end, which was blocked by Marvin Robinson. But other than that, we just didn't really seem to we had a lot of possession. We were passing the ball really well, but we just didn't really have any clear-cut chances, bar the Jackson one, which is slightly disappointing. But fair play to Liverpool, they really kind of nullified Sancho, Cole Palmer, Madueke, or I think were quite unlike themselves at Anfield on Sunday, particularly Cole Palmer. I think he had a very average performance for, given its standard. But yeah, disappointed, but overall quite a positive performance, and there's plenty of decent points to take out of it. I mean, not points on the table, but kind of positives to take from that performance. So yeah, I feel like Maresca's work is still kind of developing, and I even like the reaction from the players at full time when they came to clap the fans with Maresca. I think it really showed
was Enzo. I did hear Enzo wasn't there. I did hear he walked straight down the tunnel.
I kind of wasn't really. I think a few of them had their hoods up, so I couldn't really make out who they were. But yeah, maybe Enzo might have been frustrated not to start. I know Joao Felix as well looked quite frustrated not to come off the bench. And Cuckoo got the nod instead of him. But yeah, it still feels quite a unified squad, nevertheless.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I was really frustrated from that game. I really was, because you see McAllister's not starting. That Liverpool haven't really been firing as they usually are under Jurgen Klopp. So again, I spoke about this yesterday, but it was almost like deja vu about that final, the League Cup final that we had last season, where it was there for the taking, and I felt this maybe on a smaller scale, but it was still there for the taking. I said in the preview that we should be trying to exploit Trent, trying to exploit Andy Robertson, and I felt we did that at times. I felt Sancho was trying at times to. I mean, Trent done really well. He literally marked him out the game. Cole Palmer was being dragged into that midfield, so kind of made him less effective going forward. My worry was when I saw the lineup where we saw Malo Gusto on the left side, left back. I just didn't understand Reece James coming into that team in that game. The magnitude of the game, understanding that if we win that game, it closes the points at the top for us as well. And I think there's other games you can bring. I mean, I've just gone through the list. There's so many other fixtures you could probably manage Reece James's minutes in, and I didn't think it was that game at Anfield. I felt it was a game that we needed Gusto on the right side. We needed Renato Vega, or even Ben Chilwell. I mean, Ben Chilwell clearly is now he's literally been frozen out of that team. If you need a left back, you haven't got Kogure, who's suspended. You don't really fancy Renato Vega. You'd be looking. I mean, Chilwell must have been thinking, surely I'm getting a bit of a run out here now. There's more chance of me doing that. But to see him not in there was frustrating. And Kunku coming on the left didn't make sense for me as well. Lavia I thought should have stayed. There were so many things that I think Maresca, I'm not blaming him entirely, but he potentially didn't execute well in that game. The penalty shouts, let's try and go through them. I'm trying to remember them in the order that they happened. So there was one, I think, with Levi Colwell, which was happening so often because of Gusto getting forward, but was being left 1v1 with Mo Salah. Mo Salah driving the ball into the box. There was a small little trip from Colwell, which looking back now, I've had time to reflect, I thought it was a penalty. What was your thoughts on that one? Did you feel it was a penalty?
Is this the one that got awarded a penalty? Or was it?
No, it was one just before it. So it was Salah's running into the box. There's a slight little trip from Colwell. Salah continues into the box, and then it's almost like a slight little knock, and Salah falls over quite easily, but there is contact from Colwell.
I'm remembering it now. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, I thought that was a penalty when I watched it live. I actually haven't rewatched the match. Haven't
Yeah,
rewatched match of the
probably a
day,
good thing.
unfortunately. Yeah, maybe why. But yeah, in the moment that looked like a penalty. Whereas up the Curtis Jones one, where he gets fouled by Colwell again, I think it is. For me, in the moment, that didn't look like a penalty.
I still don't think it is.
Especially when you remember back to the Anfield game last season when
Yeah,
Gallagher went down quite early in the game, when Nkuku gets kicked in the heel from the
yeah.
back, no penalty awarded. It just feels like these are very, very soft decisions in that case.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I agree with you. I don't think the Curtis Jones one was. I can see why it was given because he makes contact with Curtis Jones. But if you notice as well, and if you get a chance to rewatch the game, Curtis Jones almost adjusts his body. So by the time he does that, Colwell's leg's already ready to kick the ball. So he can't almost stop his leg from trying to kick that ball. It happens in such a quick succession that I don't see how you can give that as a penalty. So and I can see that you can see the shock in Colwell's face. He's like, how is that even a penalty? And Tossen's the same. There was one for us that I thought we should have had, and that was Jadon Sancho and Trent. I mean, it's a clear penalty. VAR looked at it for probably 10-15 seconds and didn't give that as a penalty. Now Trent clearly steps on Jadon Sancho. It's a foul. If it's outside the box, it's a foul. It's inside the box, it's got to be a penalty. I don't know what your thoughts are on that one.
100% a penalty. Yeah, if you look at the still images, you look at it slowed down, it's a penalty. You see those given any other Premier League match. And again, I think if the Curtis Jones one's a penalty where he adjusts his body, why shouldn't the Trent one on Sancho not be a penalty? It's the lack of, I can complain all day, but these decisions are just not consistent. They're not consistent with when the VAR kind of sends the ref to the monitor, or the VAR doesn't intervene when it does intervene. But for me, that's one that should definitely it should have intervened and kind of send the ref to the monitor for him to make his decision. But yeah, very disappointing to see that wasn't a penalty. We were very far away from it on the other side of the stadium, so we didn't really see it as close to us. But now, having seen the still images, I can see a lot of Chelsea fans would have felt hard done by, and rightly so.
Yeah, no, it was definitely. I mean, that was probably the clear cut one. I do want to talk about the one that was overturned by VAR. I mean, they did technically get something right on Sunday, but which we're going to very quickly talk about Robert Sanchez as well in a minute. But Robert Sanchez was a liability throughout, in my opinion, on Sunday. But the Curtis Jones penalty that was overturned, I've seen those given. I mean, that was to me was a clear penalty. I think he's quite lucky that the ball sits underneath him. He makes contact with the ball as he's taking out Curtis Jones, but it was a penalty. Clear all day. To me, that's a penalty, and I think that worries me about our goalkeeper situation. I said to you, Petrovic has gone on loan, Kepa's out on loan. We don't really have the options on the bench to swap our goalkeepers, but he seems a liability at the moment, Sanchez.
Yeah, even for the second Liverpool goal, I feel like he should have rushed out quicker, and he just seems very indecisive in his one-on-ones. Again, against Bournemouth, if you remember the penalty he gave away, it was a one-on-one with Sanchez. And I think as a goalkeeper in those one-on-ones, you have to be brave, and you have to go with your hands, with your face close to the player's foot. That's why some keepers always opt out of them. But if you kind of go with your hands will make contact with the ball first, and whatever happens next, even if you take out the player, your hands will get there first. But what Sanchez did there is he seems to go with his entire body, and he doesn't really go low to ground, which means his knee and the rest of his leg is ahead of his body, which is highly likely to make contact with the player's leg first. He is very, very lucky, I think, that maybe the end of his foot catches the ball slightly, and that's what kind of saves him from the skin of his teeth. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones that could literally been a penalty on one day or not been a penalty on another. I think he's just very, very fortunate that he's made a bit of contact before, and maybe also slightly fortunate that in the ref's head he's just given a penalty to Liverpool. Maybe that would have played a part in his decision as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Let's talk about. I mean, the penalty is the penalty. Mo Salah takes it really well, but let's talk about Nicholas Jackson for a bit as well, because we have to credit Nicholas Jackson, who didn't really have much to do in the game. He's dropping into that again. The way Liverpool was set up, which was brilliant. Curtis Jones played really well. Gravenberch played really well in that midfield, and it was almost like a magnet for the other players. Sancho was being dragged into the midfield, Palmer, even Nicholas Jackson at times. But when it mattered, Nicholas Jackson timed his run to perfection in between Konate, Virgil van Dijk, a beautiful pass by Moises Caicedo right through, splitting through the midfield. What a goal! I mean, it was a goal score, a striker's perfect dream of a goal. And he's getting more clinical, I feel, now in front of goal.
Yeah, amazing goal. Amazing goal. I think I texted you right before kickoff saying that Liverpool had only conceded 2 goals all season.
Yep.
And that was apparent of how solid Konate and Van Dijk were as a defensive partnership. So it was going to take a really good goal and a really good pass or assist to get kind of, a goal or a ball in the back of the net on Sunday. And the Caicedo pass was weighted perfectly. It was really, really accurate. And the Jackson finish was absolutely perfect as well. Credit to him. He's getting a lot better with his finishing, because I think that's the type of, goalie or chance he would have had last season and hit the side netting, not getting it on target or put it straight at the goalkeeper. But whereas Nicholas Jackson we're seeing this season, 2 goals against West Ham, the goal he scored at Anfield, these are really good kind of strikers goals that we'd expect from him or we want from him. It was a really good goal, and it was just a shame that maybe he didn't really have a second chance to really kind of, while he was confident and kind of in the mood for scoring.
Yeah, definitely. No sooner than we score, as always, Liverpool, beautiful balling by Mo Salah. I did try and do a bit of an analysis on this yesterday on our channel, but it was. I mean, we joke about the Choco Brothers, but they had an additional brothers with them on Sunday because it was that bad. The defending was bad, absolutely poor defending for that goal. Reece James isn't just at fault. I don't know. I'm still undecided whether. I think Gusto can do better. I think maybe for the crossing. I think he's still playing on the left side at that point. He has to be tighter for that goal, for the cross from Salah. Reece James, I think he's trying to play an offside trap when he wasn't in line with the other centre back, so he's never going to be offside. It was just poor. And Sanchez again, he's got to come out and make him. I mean, he makes him smell smaller as he comes out, rather than most goalkeepers. You've played goalkeeper before. You make yourself big as you're coming out and you try and stop the ball, or you stay in the goal and you make yourself big in the goal to make it difficult for the player. But it was just poor, overall poor goal. One of our weaknesses surely is our defence at the moment. Yeah,
I think we look really comfortable attacking. Maybe it wasn't so apparent on Sunday, but all season we've looked like we've got goals in our locker. But at Anfield on Sunday, it was defensively poor for that second goal. Like you mentioned, Reece James' positioning. Gusto all day looked uncomfortable at left back. He always kept trying to cut on his right foot, and he just completely left Curtis Jones unmarked. And again, Sanchez, for me, you have to be brave as a goalkeeper. You have to come out, be decisive, and just grab the ball or just close down that space. Whereas he seems to come out, get down on his knees and slightly pause, almost like he's too scared to make contact with the player, or he's expecting him to shoot earlier and therefore he's already done his job. But yeah, all 3 of them need to do better for that goal, and that's something definitely Maresca is going to look at after Sunday's game and look to improve on the training ground.
Yeah, definitely. There's a question, I suppose, for before we move on to our game in the week. There's a question around, should he keep his place as number 1 first choice goalkeeper?
Yeah. Again, like it's something I really want to talk on another pod, but I just feel like we massively missed out on Georgi Marashvili.
Yeah,
from Valencia. That would have been the long-term replacement. I genuinely, hand on heart, can say I think he would have been the next Petr Cech, Thibaut Courtois, long-term goalkeeper for us. But instead now we're stuck with Sanchez, who was not good enough to be number 1 at Brighton and has clearly not really proved himself to be number 1 at Chelsea. I think he's a type of goalkeeper that will be world-class in one game and then have 3 or 4 mistakes in him in the second game. And to be a world-class goalkeeper consistently, you need to be dropping at least an 8 out of 10 performance every game.
Yeah.
And you say a world-class goalkeeper is the type of person that can rescue you 10 points across the season. And right now, I don't think Sanchez is that guy. I don't think I've seen enough of Philip Jorgensen yet. It's still maybe early days in his career at Chelsea, but I don't know how good he is yet. He's got that eye injury currently. So it's still question marks whether we'll see him on Thursday or not. But yeah, just so many question marks on our goalkeeping situation and strategy at the moment. We've got Slanina out on loan, Mike Penders out on loan.
Yeah.
I don't know how good these guys are, how ready they are as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go back into the market for another goalkeeper next summer as well.
I'd want to recall one of them, but that's definitely a conversation for another day. We could potentially recall one of them, but let's talk. I mean, I'm assuming you're packed already. You're ready to go. You're almost at the airport. For anyone who doesn't know, Theo is heading over to Greece to watch our game on Thursday. I'm I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But what's your thoughts going into the game? We expect a lot of changes from the lineup that was out on Sunday. More of the same, I think, in the Conference League for us.
Yeah, definitely more of the same. Really good performance against Ghent with a very rotated side, and I'm expecting the exact same lineup, maybe that started against Ghent, to feature
Yeah.
against Panathinaikos potentially if Jorgensen's fit. And we didn't mention Bajashil, but I thought he did well when he came on against
Calm.
Anfield.
Looks very calm.
He looked very calm, composed, and I quite like how he was getting under Nunez's skin as well. I
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, in terms of Panathinaikos, really looking forward to the trip to Athens. It's that one fixture that when it got released, I was really excited for, because I'm a huge fan of Greek football as well. For those who don't know much about Panathinaikos, they're like, I'd say, top four historically in the Greek Super League, alongside Olympiakos, AEK Athens, and PAOK Thessaloniki as well.
Yeah.
They're currently sixth in Greek Super League, 3 wins, 3 draws, and 2 defeats. So it's been quite average for them so far.
Yeah.
And the good news for Chelsea fans is their talismanic striker, Fotis Ioannidis, is out injured.
Doesn't mean much for our defence.
I don't know if he'll be fit. He'll be fit in time for Thursday, where he missed all the Nations League games, and a lot of Greek fans were saying that had he started against England, it would have been a lot rougher for England.
Yeah.
Because he's that good currently, and he's really red hot form. 2 other players I'd watch out for: Palestri, the Uruguayan winger who used to play for United, and also Azmedine Ounahi, who was kind of one of the Moroccan attacking midfielders that really made a name for himself at the last World Cup.
Yeah.
So keep an eye for those 3 players. That being said, I'm expecting a really cagey game. We know what these type of atmospheres can be like in Eastern Europe, or kind of Greek fans, Turkish fans, Bulgarian fans, Serbian fans. They're going to make it feel hostile. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game for us, but I'm also confident that with our heavily rotated squad and those players that didn't even feature against Liverpool, Dewsbury Hall, Joao Felix, Mudryk, they can come in and do a job, because not only do they want to play football, but they also want to prove to the manager that they're good enough to be starting these Conference League games, but also the Premier League ones, especially when I think Sancho, Palmer, and Sancho did themselves no favours on Anfield to retain their position against Newcastle potentially. So I would not be surprised if Pedro Neto played brilliantly when he came on against Anfield. Does a job on Thursday, and potentially also deserves to start on Sunday against Newcastle. But yeah, really excited for the game, and I think it's going to be a lot tighter than people expect.
Yeah, no, we have to. I said this when we obviously found out we were in the Conference League. We have to respect all the teams that are in there. We can't just again we can't expect us, just because we're Chelsea, that we're going to go over there and destroy teams. I think it'd be really difficult. I think the atmosphere will play a massive part, as you said before. Turkish football, Greek football, Cypriot football at times as well can be quite intimidating for away teams to go to, just because that's how the football is over there. And I think it'll be a really good game. I think we have to guard against complacency. I think that would be the one thing I would say. I think defensively, throughout this season so far, we have not looked good at all. We've looked really, really poor. I can't remember the last game where I thought we played really well defensively, but we have to start fine-tuning some of those mistakes, because if we don't, we can score. I said on Sunday or Monday, we can score all the goals in the world, but if we're conceding just as many, it's pointless what we're doing in attack. So and obviously we know that we won't have I think it's Fofana, Lavia, Cole Palmer all on in the squad anyway. They're all will be getting a deserved rest. I agree with you about Sancho. I wouldn't play him. I'd put Mudryk back in, I think, in this game. I'd even go as far as to say I'd start Nkunku over Jackson. Just with that game in mind on Sunday, Newcastle is a big game. We need to rotate the squad, and Nkunku didn't really get that much time on Sunday as well. So I'd start with Nkunku or Mark Gu as well, another player that we haven't really seen much of. So before we go, I know we've not got long. Front to back, your lineup and your score prediction.
If Jorgensen's fit, I'd go with Jorgensen. Then I'd go with Vega, Bajashil, Desassi, and I would start Reece James, because we need to start getting him and his minutes up. Then I would go with Cassidy and Dewsbury Hall as my midfielders. And then I would go with Joao Felix as the 10, Mudryk and Neto either side of him, and Nkunku as the striker.
I agree with that. I think I'd go with that same lineup. A lot of rotation, but I think we need it. I think we've got the squad depth to do it, and I think it will keep some of those that, as you said, didn't get minutes against Liverpool or lack of minutes against Liverpool, keep them fresh as well. So, score prediction.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Chelsea. Then again, I'm attending the game, and my record attending these games, seeing Chelsea wins is very, very poor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like we've got the depth in the squad. We've got guys like Nkuku who can score goals. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I was gonna go, and I've just said about respecting the teams in there. I was gonna go 4-0. I'm gonna go 4-1. I think they'll score. I think we'll concede a common bar. You know, many games back to back recently that we've played really well defensively. So I'm gonna go 4-1 Chelsea. I think an Nkunku hat trick. I think Modric will probably get on the score sheet as well. Surprise us all. Yeah, but no, enjoy while you're there. I'm sure it'll be brilliant. I'm sure if you're on the Instagram from the Shed End, I'm sure you'll see Theo's content on there for the next couple of days. When are you back? Is it Friday?
Yeah, leave tomorrow morning and back Saturday afternoon.
Saturday. Okay, so you got a few
Yeah.
days there. Yeah, be good.
Yeah.
It'd be good. So you'll be getting a lot of additional extra content from Theo on the Instagram. If you're not already on there, make sure you go to the description, hit the link, the Linktree link. It will take you to all our social accounts. Make sure you join and follow on there. Also, the audio version of the podcast will be available straight after this live stream. So make sure you head over to Spotify, keep over all your notifications on. Theo, enjoy Greece. Get some is it Mythos? The beer over there, I think it is.
Yeah, I've got my marathon coming up, so I'll be drinking. I have a non-alcoholic Mythos or Alpha.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, but I'll probably have some for you instead. I'll buy some. But anyone else who's listening to this after the live stream, make sure you like the video, subscribe as always, and thank you very much. Let's hope we get another victory on Thursday. Thank you very much for watching.